This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Welcome to Bullet Point. We are your host. I'm EP.
And JM.
Every week we are going to talk about competitive shooting and everything around it.
So if you're an aficionado, enthusiast, or a beginner, this is your show.
You can easily connect with us through PHLV Radio Facebook page or Bullet Point Facebook page, or simply email us at bulletpointmediaproduction@gmail.com.
Now, don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel, and you would be able to get the latest episodes of Bullet Point. Are you ready? Stand by.
All right, for our topic tonight, JM. Of course, this is our pilot episode.
Yes.
So maybe what we need to do tonight is just to introduce ourselves, of course, and how we started our journey to competitive shooting.
Yes.
Right? So let's start from you. Maybe what's your history, JM?
Competitive shooting started probably about four years ago.
Wow. 4 years only?
Yes, 4
Wow.
years only.
Okay.
After or during the pandemic.
So what brought you into shooting?
Got bored.
God work. Yeah, let's go
a lot
shooting,
of
right?
a lot of desert shooting on Sloan, and then suddenly we're like, what are we doing?
Okay.
We're like wasting ammo.
Okay.
So
Right.
that kind of started everything.
Okay.
But historically, my family's always been into shooting. In the Philippines. So primarily my
Competitive
dad.
shooting too?
Yeah, my dad's been
Wow.
shooting since the 80s.
Wow.
World Shoot, Australasia. So.
Oh, that's where it's coming from.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's
so
where it started.
you went shooting with him too, or
Yes, he always brings me out to the range. I was,
what?
little boy.
What? That's great, man. So the love for shooting started when you were younger,
Yes.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
so you were talking about Sloan. What's this Sloan about?
No, it was just, I think everybody started or at least went to Sloan in the desert and just fired off a couple rounds.
Oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that Sloan he's talking about is somewhere out there.
Yes.
Here in Vegas.
Right. Somewhere in the I-15.
Yeah.
What about you?
Oh, well, I started the same thing.
Yeah.
The influence came from my father. He's got a lot of guns when I was growing in the Philippines as well.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with the guns.
Yeah.
So as a young dude, I go and sneak inside the room of my father
Play with the guns.
and play with the guns. Don't do that at home. That's not good.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say here is the interest was there. And my dad is a very responsible person when it comes to guns. Really. It's just that I saw how he took care of the guns, how he was cleaning his guns.
Same.
And the same thing. And
Yeah.
then he goes to the farm,
Right.
bring these guns, and fire a couple of shots
Yep.
in the farm. So
Yep.
I really got interested during that time. But when I was growing, of course, in the Philippines, I was young, and to have guns in the Philippines is also expensive. You
Right.
just don't get guns there.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like, okay, I want a gun and I'll buy one.
Yeah.
It's very different laws there as well.
Right. So what was the first firearm you shot?
Oh wow! It's actually a good gun, and my father gave that to me. Up until today, I have that gun in the Philippines. It's a Gold Cup 1911 45.
Nice.
That's
a nice gun.
That's a nice gun, right?
That's a nice gun. That was the first firearm I also shot.
Oh wow!
It was a 45, right?
Yeah.
And you're holding it, and
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, definitely, and it throws you.
like 8 years old, 9 years old. I was like, my heart was beating out of my.
And for a small kid to shoot that kind of gun, that's really strong or powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how it started. But when I when I left the Philippines, I went to Ireland. And I got so bored too, just like how he did it. But in Ireland, guys, there's you just can't have guns there.
Yeah.
Right. So what I did was I created an organization who would like to play airsoft.
Nice.
So that's as far as I can go. So I played airsoft, but competitive airsoft too.
Yeah.
you know? So after that, I went here in the United States about 13, 14 years ago, and that's where I knew that, hey, I can buy guns here.
Right,
Second
right.
Amendment.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
love it, guys. So
Yes.
and then I was just a gun owner and fired a couple of shots inside the range where
Right.
maybe all of us went to start anyway.
Yeah.
But when I came here in Vegas, that's where I knew that, there's outside shooting. I can shoot
Outdoor.
outdoor. I mean, so that's it.
Yeah.
And I got to know you guys. So,
Yeah.
So that was fun.
I think inherently Filipinos have an obsession with firearms.
Oh, yeah. For some reason.
Historically.
Yeah. For some reason, right?
Historically, all the way back in
Oh, my God.
the
I'm telling you.
colonial days.
Yeah.
So we love our guns.
Yeah, the firearms, really? When I came here,
Yeah.
and then I met you guys,
Yeah.
we all met together and said, Filipinos all over. So what's with the firearm, competitive shooting? I mean,
Yeah.
that everybody's here right now. Really, the community is getting bigger.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that's my story, man. So I didn't know what to do first.
Yeah.
I just have to ask people who knows how to do it. By the
Right.
way, guys, if you're a beginner, that's something that you need to you learn as well. Who knows how to do this stuff? You just don't go out there and just shoot whenever you like.
Right.
So,
Well, yeah, no. I think we can segue into what organization we support, right? Under the IPSC, umbrella.
okay.
IPSC stands for International Practical Shooting Confederate. We shoot USPSA.
Here in the United States, we
the
shoot
US,
USPSA,
yes.
and
And
the
it's-
United States Practical Shooting Association.
Right.
So if people would like to go into competitive shooting, I think that's the first thing that I tell people. Hey, register to USPSA
Right,
first. You want to be part of that organization.
Right. And there's depending on certain your location and your geographic location, you can there's clubs and
Exactly.
organizations that you can click on there.
the USPSA, I know, that's what you call the premier competitive shooting organization here in the United States. Right?
Yes.
So when you're part of that group, the first thing that they're going to be talking about is safety.
yes. I agree.
So that's the first thing that shooting, we all know how to shoot.
right.
But the most basic thing that you need to understand when it comes to competitive shooting is safety.
Right.
And oh my God, I'm going to tell you, JM, when I first got into this game, I call everybody a gentleman.
Right.
This is a gentleman's game.
It is a gentleman's
Right?
sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it is. And then there's a lot of fun there, man. Oh my God. Where, when you look at, for example, not just watching, you guys shoot.
Yeah.
And then being part of it too is a different level of, the adrenaline rush is just
Right.
there. It's
Yes.
just, oh my God,
There's a lot of dynamics that gets into it when you start shooting. But to your point, safety is number
Exactly.
one.
That's the
Right.
number one rule, guys. You have to know and understand what safety is during competitive shooting.
Right.
So
it's always one. The most basic safety guidelines would be always, if the range is cold, right? There's a safety table.
Yep.
You can't holster anywhere other than the safety table, or it's always a 180 as well. Right.
Well, that's the thing. They have to know what a 180 rule is. When to load those bullets inside your guns or your firearms. There's a lot of things that you need to know and understand just to talk about safety. Maybe one of this episode that we'll be doing with Bullet Point is going to be all about safety. I'm telling you,
Yes.
one episode is not really enough just to talk
No,
about safety.
no.
And then in competitive shooting, you're gonna see a lot of challenging courses inside it.
Yeah.
Which makes it so fun as well, really.
Right.
You know?
It could be intimidating.
Oh well, that's true.
Right.
Tell me about that, JM. So you're starting to shoot. So how do you go about those challenging courses?
Well, everybody goes what they call a walkthrough, right?
Okay, a walkthrough,
so
right?
they're given a specific amount of minutes or time that they can examine the course of fire.
Okay.
Right, and you'll be able to get your movements and where you want it to be, where you want to shoot certain targets.
Yeah.
Certain positions will show different types of targets.
That's right.
So that's important. Everybody could have different walkthroughs, and everybody could have the same.
Hey guys, what he's talking about is when you're in that challenging course, really, I mean the course of fire, you're actually torn between speed and accuracy.
Right.
Because each target has corresponding points.
Correct.
Right? And it's in that target, they have different points, and depends on what caliber or what division you're at. We're going to talk about that later on. So that's how these competitive shooters are being tested.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. No. What the I think for me, it's the most important aspect of your game. That walkthrough. It could be a make or break.
That's right.
With your position or
how you strategize it.
How to strategize it. That's right. Yeah.
So can you imagine, guys? You only finish a course of fire for a few seconds.
Yes.
But some people will do it in 2 minutes, right? So that's where the fun is coming from. How you're going to be doing it in a speed and as accurate as you can.
Yes.
So and then there's different power factors of the bullets that you're going to be using, and we're I think just a high level of some items that we would want to talk about today, guys. Again, we started with USPSA. That's how you're going to be starting to join the world of competitive shooting. All you have to do is just go to their website, try to learn what it is about USPSA and what the sport is all about.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So another topic that we would want to, just on a higher level, really, is there are certain divisions in USPSA, right?
Yes.
You might want to talk about that.
Yeah. No. So it depends on what you have.
Okay.
Right.
The gun or the firearm.
The firearm. Right.
Okay.
So a good starting point is going to use your resources for USPSA. YouTube has a lot of informative videos that explains the calibers and the guns, the firearms that are corresponding to that. But just on a high level, there's an open division, which is the race, the
race guns.
the Formula One race guns.
Oh, that's what you call it, Formula One.
Yes, it's all about the speed, right? Yeah.
So that's where it is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you got open, and you have the PCC, which is the pistol caliber carbine.
Okay.
This is a
rifle.
That shoots 9 millimeter.
Okay.
You have your carry optics, which is a firearm with a red dot mounted on it.
Okay.
Usually a double action style.
Okay.
Usually
we'll talk more about those double action, single action in the future. Yeah.
Right. And then you have your production.
Okay.
Your production is off the shelf type.
So when you buy a gun on the shelf, that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
There's magazines that's included. You can just
fire away.
Yeah, fire. Get a holster and mag pouches.
Yeah.
But you also have a limited. I think you shot.
Well,
you shot limited before, right?
But that's
you
the
shot
first gun.
limited
Yeah,
before.
both of us we did, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a very challenging
It is.
division.
Usually the limiteds are 2011 platforms
Okay.
that you see. It's a ninth. So you have your traditional 1911.
Yeah.
2011 is basically kind of double the capacity
Of your magazine.
of the capacity of the firearm.
The firearm,
So
yeah, I mean,
nowadays they've expanded that into a lot more than your traditional basic 2011. So
Yep.
So you have limited in a 2011 platform or limited 10.
Or limited 10.
You also have your single stack. Single stack is still alive.
Over the weekend, I saw somebody who's really shooting single stack.
Yes.
And it's still alive. And then he said, "Okay, there's 5 of us here using single stack." But it's fun watching them doing the single stack.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the single stack shooters are all about the reloads.
Yeah. And that's another level of skills.
I'm not
telling
yet there.
Guys, when you're using single stack in a competition, your mind goes, "Okay, I'm going to shoot here," but you're still doing math.
Yes.
At the back of your head,
Yes.
Okay, I'm left with 6 bullets, and I'm gonna, so it's really fun. That's why this game is fun.
Yeah. And then you have revolvers.
Somebody uses revolvers.
Yes.
Revolvers still at the
Yeah,
same.
or they call it revos.
Revos, yeah.
Yeah, so you have revolvers, and then the last one is the new one is it's provisional, which is limited optics. So
Why do you call it provisional?
so it's not fully it was
implemented yet?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's still pending.
Okay.
Under.
But some
USPS.
people are using limited optics now,
Yeah,
right?
there's a lot of people are
Okay.
using limited.
So limited optics is just your limited gun plus a red dot
Yes.
installed, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So you got your usual, for example, 2011, and then you got your
Your
red dot on it, usually a 9mm as well.
Okay.
So just basic divisions. So you have to, guys, you gotta. Whatever you have to know what divisions you fall into. That's pretty important when you start your USPSA journey.
That's right. And then, of course, the type of gun or firearm that you would be choosing, that will bring you where or what division you'll be at.
Yes.
So
Yes.
sometimes, maybe one of these days we'll be discussing, hey, what's the right gun for me?
Right,
So we'll discuss that on another topic next time. But there are what you call aside from the divisions, right? There's also classifications.
Yes.
Okay. So what are those classifications, James?
So classification is basically where you would fall as far as your skill set goes
on a certain division.
on certain divisions.
Okay.
Right?
So, open, and then you have classifications.
Right. Same thing with all the
Limited
divisions.
division. Okay,
Right,
got it.
right.
Okay.
So if you're a new shooter, obviously you would start off as a unclassified.
Okay.
Some of the
I thought that's unknown.
unknown, yes.
So
Yes.
you is unclassified, right?
Yes,
okay, better know that, right? Not
You know.
unknown, unclassified.
Right. So there are classifications or classifiers is what they call are courses of fire to exhibit your shooting skills and capabilities.
There you go.
And you're being graded
Okay.
in a certain percentage on where you would fall
Okay.
based on your skill level.
All right.
So in a local gun club or a level 2 or maybe a level 3 match, there may be a classifier. So there's a book of classifiers under USPSA
Okay.
that they use, and they set up a course of fire. Sometimes it's shorter, and then there's longer ones.
Yeah.
But this will kind of
Classify.
determine the outcome
Okay.
of your skill set, right?
Okay.
So usually when you start off, when you haven't shot anything at all, and you're a newcomer at the USPSA, you're usually an unclassified.
Unknown. No, unclassified, right?
And
So
then,
that's great.
and then so
And then you
have your
progress.
yes, and
Okay.
then you're followed by a D class.
Okay.
And then from D class you got C class,
Okay.
B class, A, and then you have your master, and then grandmaster.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's well, guys, I think that's a classification will just tell you what your skill level is.
Yes.
Okay, in
Yes.
a division that you belong. But correct me if I'm wrong. I've seen this one. One person can be in different divisions.
Yes.
Meaning,
Correct.
I have a carbine. I can join a carbine. Or I have a
Correct.
Care Optic gun.
Yes.
So
yes.
you can be classified for all of those, right?
Correct.
Okay. got
Correct.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You can do that. I mean, you and I, we've seen a lot of shooters, competitive shooters that has, they can jump into different divisions.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're classified.
And that's okay.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
That's
okay,
That's
right?
the
Yeah.
beauty of this sport is, if
It doesn't limit you there.
No, if you get bored in shooting, open division, you can go limited optics.
I know somebody like that. Your friend and my friend, right?
Yes.
I get bored. I'm going to do this one.
right. Yeah. Every week we see him in a different
Yeah.
division.
Maybe we'll bring him as a guest here one of these days.
Right.
Okay, so therefore, guys, so we talked about USPSA. You have to have that. So basically, when you look
You
at
have to be a
PSA,
member.
you have
Yeah.
to be a member. So
Yes.
they're going to give you a unique ID.
Correct.
There you go, meaning you're legit to be part of that organization,
You
right?
pay your dues.
You pay your dues every
Yeah.
year,
Right, yes,
Right.
yes.
So and then right after that, we talked about this divisions,
Right.
which division you would want to be part of.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
be everything there. You can
Right.
have it all as long as you have those guns, right? And then now we know the classification.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
so basically you can do a lot, just
Yes.
there's really no complexities there. The complexities depends on you. Me, I just shoot open and one division and I'm there.
Right.
That's it for me.
You're not gonna go back to limited.
No, because of you. Man, I enjoyed it, man.
Yeah.
So when our good friend Miko told me to shift to from limited to open, oh
Yeah.
my God, he just said the right thing to me. You will never go back to limited right after.
I think for you and me, limited was a check the box.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good
you
with
know?
that, right?
Yeah.
So that was fun. It was a good journey. I
Yeah,
think I
and-
did about 4 years of that.
Same, because it tests your ability for iron sight.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's another thing, guys. So we're going to talk about iron sights and red dots
Yes.
in the future,
Yeah.
right? So, jumping into the scoring, because
Yes.
we were talking about speed and accuracy when you were doing this one.
Mm-hmm.
Just another high level topic here. There's a scoring.
Yes.
Okay. So, maybe you would want to discuss about those minors and major.
Yeah. So
And zones as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So in the just a
USPSA.
high level discussion for USPSA for scoring. So there you have your silhouette paper target.
Okay.
And then you have your IPSC.
Okay.
But the scorings are the same as far as the zones. So
Okay.
you have your A zone, you have your C zone, and then you have your D zone. So
Okay.
it kind of goes out.
Okay.
And then you have steel as well.
Okay.
Or what we call in our world
Poppers,
poppers,
yeah.
right? So there's a difference in scoring. So if you're a minor, you're under the minor.
9mm and below.
Right. So
Well,
your
9mm.
your number, numerical number for certain hits on those paper
Is different.
Is different
From the major load.
from the major. So you
Okay.
got your minor and major, and then major would give you the maximum scoring
Scores.
allowed.
Okay.
Right. So if you hit 2 shots on the A zone, you get the maximum point, which is 5. Right. You get 5
5 per shot.
per shot.
Okay.
So 10 total.
So on paper, you actually give 2 shots or the best 2 shots on
Yes.
papers,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So on A zone gives you 5 points per shot.
Correct.
So since you're going to be shooting 2, that's going to be 10, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
good. All right.
Yes.
And then the C zone.
The C zone is different now when you compare the major and the minor.
Oh, that's where it's going to be
Yes.
different. Okay.
Yes.
All
So
right.
the C zone usually just goes 3 points for minor,
Okay.
and for us major it's 4.
4 points.
So
Okay.
it can make or break your positioning if you're super competitive like EP. So
Or
you know,
JM.
it becomes it becomes a push and pull when it comes to scoring.
Okay. So basically, minor is 3, 4, and then major is
Yes.
4.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then the deltas.
The delta is 2
Okay.
for major.
For
and
major.
then, and then 1 for.
Wow, that's good. That's a lot.
Delta
That-
is big.
Yeah, that's
That one.
So when you're shooting minor, delta is not your friend,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Correct.
So that's good. Oh, about this scoring in targets, we always hear this calling Mike.
Yeah.
So I thought that was my friend Mike. No. So what's Mike?
Mike is very notorious in our shooting or
Okay.
competitive world.
All right.
Mike is considered a miss.
Oh, so Mike is not our friend.
Mike is not our friend, unfortunately.
All right.
You know.
Yeah, so you don't want to miss the target.
No.
That's
No.
very good.
No.
That's good to know. So basically, just to
If you have a mic, that's 10 points.
minus.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Minus 10.
So basically, that mic really is minus 10 of your total points.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Wow. So at least on this high level conversation about scoring and targets, we're gonna deep dive into that in the future.
Yeah.
But at least you guys are getting a good glimpse of how competitive shooting is all about. What you need to have, what are the classification, and how the scoring and targets, and maybe what we would want to know too is that guy following you. Who's that guy following you?
Oh yeah, you have a you have a friend behind you.
Behind you, right?
Right, and that's the RO,
The range
or
officer.
The range officer.
Okay.
Right.
You know, the reason I'm saying that, the guy following you, so my daughter, so she was watching one of my videos, and then she said, "Hey, Dad, who's that guy following you?"
Well, so the range officers or RO, they're an important factor. When you shoot the course of fire.
Okay.
Because they are the timekeepers.
The timekeepers.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, we were talking about scoring a while ago, right?
Yes.
And then that guy following you is the range officer with the timepiece, right?
Yes. There's a
Following you.
timer. There's a timer
Okay.
that usually an audible timer that you hear a beep when the range officer gives you the command
To start.
To start.
Okay.
Yes.
And then he times you,
Yeah.
and then whatever's the time after you finish the whole course of fire,
Yes.
now goes the scoring.
Correct. So
Okay.
in a level 2, level 3 match, usually there's a lot more range officers, and you have your scorers and timekeepers.
That's right, yeah.
So it's about 2 to 3 people
Following you around or watching you.
or at least the scorers right there.
That's right.
And they'll yell out the scoring as they go.
Oh yeah,
along,
that's right. So they're gonna be, one RO is gonna be looking at how you scored,
Yes.
and then somebody's gonna be putting it and coding it into a what do you call this? The scoring system you have in a
right.
tablet.
It's
right?
a tablet, yeah.
Okay, and then that tablet will actually compute what you call your hit factor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so guys, this hit factor is being computed, by your score. Okay, divided by
Your hits.
your hits, right? I know you mean your time
Yes. Plus your hits.
plus your hits, right?
Yes.
So meaning, guys, that's what you call your hit factor.
Mm-hmm.
So this hit factor determines how you did well on that course of fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically you're being scored,
Right.
and then that score would tell you how you positioned in the entire game.
right.
So
in your division.
in your division.
And
By the way,
and class.
that's right, in your division
Yes.
and in your class.
Yes.
Wow. So yeah, it sounds like
it-
it's complicated, but it
does.
really is not.
For when I first started, it was a little bit complicated, and luckily, we've known each other for quite some time,
Yeah.
and we've helped other
Newbies.
newbies
Yeah.
or new competitive shooters.
That's right.
On how to guide and how to kind of help them around understand the dynamics.
That's the reason why I like this game, guys. So if you're a beginner, definitely
Yeah.
the people that you're going to be playing with, they're
very helpful.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
They really teach you, especially on safety. So if you guys would want to be, to be part of the competitive shooting world, you want to make sure that you go with someone who actually knows it.
Yeah.
Research it, or watch some, just like what you said, YouTube that
Yeah.
can guide you,
Yeah.
on what the safety rule is all about. That's number one.
Right, right. Well, we're pretty lucky here in Las Vegas. We do have our home range. We have a couple ranges
Yeah,
that
that's right.
and gun clubs that could help.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
and just by going up there and just observing, and
How it's
just
been done.
how it's been done.
Yeah.
Then it goes a long way for the new shooter.
Exactly. And well, besides the point that if you're going to be new shooter beside me, of course, I don't want you shooting me. Just kidding. Okay, we're talking about safety since
Yeah.
a while ago. So, maybe we can talk about some basic rules of firearm safety, just an overview as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's the first thing that you would tell our televiewers, right? Our viewers
Yeah.
about firearm safety.
Oh, you have to, at least if you're a responsible firearm owner, somewhat you've always seen this whenever you're purchasing a firearm, or when you have that firearm, you already have that booklet. But the NRA states it pretty well. But you have to treat every gun as if it's loaded.
Yep. That's the number one rule.
Yes.
Treat every gun as if it were loaded. Meaning, oh, I know that there's nothing there. No, it doesn't work like that.
No.
always treat that it's actually loaded.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
I love that point.
And then always point your firearm in the safe direction.
Wow. That's
Can't play around with it.
exactly, especially in competitive shooting. You always going to be hearing downrange.
Yes, it's always downrange.
It's always downrange. You know?
And what is downrange for our new?
Well,
new
always
viewers?
remember, guys. Yeah, there's this what you call downrange, meaning just away from everybody else is where your downrange is. You know, so it's where the berm is. That's your downrange, and then you have this 180 or 180 degrees. You cannot go beyond it.
Break it.
You cannot break it, otherwise you are disqualified.
DQ.
DQ'd, right?
You get to eat the ice cream.
Yeah, you go to DQ ice cream. So always point your gun in safe direction.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, and never point your gun at anything you don't intend to shoot.
Exactly. That's another important item that you need to put into this one here. Never point your gun at anything you don't intend to shoot. Guys, guns or firearms are, what do you call this? The safety of that gun is always in your hand.
Right.
That's it. You
Right.
know, so
Right.
that's good.
Right. Keep your finger off that trigger until you're ready to shoot or fire.
You know what? That's something that I learned from my dad a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not ready to shoot,
I think that was the first.
Yeah.
You know, that's the first lesson.
that we all got, maybe,
we all
right?
got,
yeah,
right.
because if you're not ready to shoot, don't put that trigger finger into that trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you're ready to
Right.
shoot. You know, so
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
good. I like
Yeah.
that.
And I think the last one is be sure of the target and what's beyond it.
Oh yeah, that's very important. You know, guys. Sometimes I'm gonna shoot this one, right? But you don't know what's behind it or
Yeah.
beyond it, and that's where awareness have to fall.
Yes.
Meaning you have to be very mindful of your surroundings when you shoot. So when you are in competitive shooting, guys, you would always see that there are berms surrounding,
pretty high.
and then they're
Yeah.
pretty high. Not just high. No, it's really, really high because again, safety. And you would want to make sure that when you're competitive shooting, fun is a big factor. That's why you would want to be part of it. You know, and then of course, to be able to get that fun, you have to understand that safety rule.
Yes.
You know, safety first.
Yep.
All right.
Agreed.
I like those basic firearm rules, but we're going to talk more about that
Yeah.
in the future. But if you guys would want to learn more about this, you know, a good resource would be the USPSA.org.
Yes.
USPSA.org.
USPSA.org.
Yeah. So you would want to make
that's a good
sure.
start.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
That's a good start.
Because all of the information that you want to learn
Yeah.
is from there.
So JM, you know, for this USPSA, did it really guide you through your competitive shooting journey?
It did.
Definitely,
It did.
right?
It did. Yeah, definitely. And yours as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
This is really my guidance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of resource inside it.
Yeah.
Definitely when you say, it's not perfect. No, it should be perfect because
Right.
guns or firearms, it should be precise. You know,
Yeah.
safety is going to be
Yeah.
there, you know.
And it's not just I know this is our hobby,
Yeah.
and some treat this as a sport, but it does go beyond just the competitive shooting every weekend.
Yeah.
You know, we apply this discipline.
Oh, yeah.
In a day-to-day lives and at our
Well,
work.
that's
and,
true.
You know,
Yeah, that's true. What you learn from competitive shooting, you can apply that in real world.
right?
If, just in case,
Yes.
you need it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so definitely that's another thing that we're going to be talking about, you know, in the future. One of the episodes that we'll be having, when to
Like
use it,
self-defense,
you know.
right.
But of course, meaning for me, if you can't, if you cannot get out of that, the best thing is to get out of that situation.
Correct.
You don't want to be in that situation.
Yes,
you know?
yes, correct. That's always the first, the first step
Go to.
is not to use it.
Not
That's
to use
not
it.
the intention at all.
At all. No.
And I think that's a cool topic for our next next few episodes of when it comes to safety of that, and we'll have some special guests that talk about.
Oh, by the way,
events.
speaking about that, hey guys, the reason why I'm so excited about Bullet Point, Bullet Point, can you imagine that, right? The reason why I'm so excited about our show, JM, is because we're gonna be, the next show or the next episode, they'll be seeing some videos out there.
Yes.
We'll be having some guests out
That's
here.
awesome, yeah.
Oh, watch out for our guests, guys! I'm telling you, there's gonna be some featured gears or featured guns.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot
of the week, gear of the week.
Yeah, that's going to be so exciting, right?
Yeah.
Just for right now, please bear with us, right? Jam and myself, of course, we just want to make sure that we introduce ourselves first,
Right.
And what we can do about this show.
Yeah.
But I would also like to thank all those people who supported us just before we did this pilot episode.
Yeah.
Maybe guys, you've seen those Bullet Point, all
Bullet
of those.
Point, yeah. Those cameos. So we appreciate everyone that did that.
Yeah.
We're EP and I are very excited to kick this show off.
Exactly.
This is for the shooters, by the shooters.
Exactly.
And our intention here is to just talk about the world of competitive shooting.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, if you have some ideas that you would want to inject in the show, feel free, email us,
Yes.
It's very simple. Bullet Point. What do you call this? Bullet Point Media Production at gmail.com. That's easy. Oh, that's long.
I'll let you handle that.
I know, right? Yeah, because we would like to hear from you guys.
Yes.
And again, as you mentioned a while ago, YouTube, be a subscriber or you like us on that channel, so you can get those latest episodes or show that you and I will be doing, right, James?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, I think this is it for us, guys.
Yeah.
This is the first show. You survived.
Yes, we did. We did.
All right, guys. So, again, this is Bullet Point. Until next week, we are signing off.
Signing off.
Bullet Point. Bullet Point. Bullet Point. Hey, everybody.
Hi, I'm JM.
I'm Enrico.
We're hosting our podcast called
Bullet Point.
And we're going to talk about competitive shooting, guns and gears and everything.
See you guys there.
Range is clear. Time 157.
Just like a friend from back home. This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.